Welcome everybody to another episode of DNS Unfiltered. Today I'm joined by Edna Jonsson. Edna, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mikey. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I know. Thank you for joining me. I randomly came across some LinkedIn posts of yours, and then I dug a little deeper and got very fascinated at your plethora of work. So I guess you've worn a lot of hats. You've been, or you kind of are a SOC analyst. You've done a little threat hunting, a little capture the flag action, community
hmm
organizer, podcaster. What I'm curious, just to get started with like a little snack. What is the thing that keeps pulling you into cybersecurity?
Oh, what pulls me in? I just get such a joy out of it. The community is really the best part for me. I get to meet so many amazing people, and they're the people that I interact with. They're from such different walks of life, and they do different things. So it's always so intriguing to me meeting new people and getting to know their story and what their background is and what do they do. I'm just a really curious person, so I'll ask people a bunch of questions about themselves. And yeah, so I like to dig in and find out more about people and get to know them.
So is curiosity what kind of started you down this path of cybersecurity and capture the flags and things like that?
Yeah, I'm definitely a very curious person. I know, like, when I was younger, I would be really into like Nancy Drew books, and I had this envision of like I was going to become an investigator of some sort. Like I thought maybe I'll get into the FBI or something. But it's just I have this very curious mindset, and I love having challenges and working through them and digging in. If I have a challenge that takes me like hours, like it's such a rush when you finally figure out what the solution to that challenge is. So that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy.
Well, you kind of turned out to be a little bit of a Nancy Drew. like you
Yes.
like you're kind of solving things,
hmm
investigating. Have you ever seen like the online sleuth community where they'll like analyze pictures, and I know it actually is kind of related to capture the flag. There's kind of like little clues here and there.
Yeah, I've seen that, like OSINT challenges and things like that.
Well, let's
Yeah,
talk about some of the challenges. You've actually gotten a few awards, I believe. Capture the flag at Wild West Hack Fest. Is that right?
yes. I competed with a team, and we won the black badge in that competition. So that was a really fun time. They had great challenges. The platform we were on was the Meta CTF, and they put on great challenges for people. And yeah, it was a fun time.
What was the hard thing that stood out in one of those challenges that just like felt like you were never going to get past?
Oh, so it was kind of an attack and defend CTF, and there was a lot of coding involved in different languages. And so my team, they all had like different parts of the puzzle. So somebody was working on programming in Go, while somebody else was working on um, C sharp, and somebody else on JavaScript or Python. So it was just like such a rush when the pieces started to work, and the code started to like run, and we started to get the flags coming in. But it was like just figuring out how the different APIs worked and what it was that we were grabbing. Um, I know, like for me, I was looking at one challenge, and I'm just looking at the front end, trying to see like what is the right div that has the information that we're trying to grab from. And you would see like there was a bit of information here or there, and then finally like, okay, it's like all the way down here is what we're looking for. So it was just trying to find the needle in the haystack.
So I've actually never done a CTF.
Okay.
I'm curious. So the way you're describing it, it sounds like you're maybe doing a little bit of everything. Like you're doing your reverse engineering APIs. Maybe you're doing a little bit of like HTML processing to figure out. You mentioned the div that you were looking for.
Hmm.
Is that what is a CTF like? And should I do one?
Oh, definitely do one because they're fun. A CTF, it's a competition for finding flags, and there's different kinds of challenges in CTF. So this was an attack and defense CTF, but there's also Jeopardy style CTFs or King of the Hill and different versions that you can play. Um, I like starting with an OSINT CTF for when I'm recommending people starting because you use your Google foo skills to find information. But there's a lot of different CTFs out there. There's reverse engineering. There is you can do like steganography, trying to find information that's in pictures. And it's basically like solve this challenge, and then you get the flag. And then if you submit the flag and it comes out like that's the right one, then you get the points for it. And different challenges have different ways of doing things. Sometimes you get more points if you're like the first one to get it, and that will be called first blood. So yeah, it's really a
It's like,
great time.
ooh. Uh,
Yeah.
so you're looking at like EXIF data of images, things like that.
Yeah. You
But
could
how
be
do you,
looking at.
but
Mhm.
how do you know like which strategy to apply, or is that part of the challenge?
Sometimes the name of the challenge will give you some kind of a hint,
Hmm.
and you just look at the information that's presented to you. If it's like you need to connect to a server somewhere or connect to an IP address, you're going to need to do some terminal commands. So as time goes on, I recommend making notes of like how you solve challenges because you'll need to use that again in the future. Like there is you'll start to see like there's a theme between challenges. So it's like, okay, now I'm in here. What do I need to do to get to the next step? And so having notes will help.
History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
Yeah.
So how did you get started learning all these skills? Like these aren't just something you just are born with. You don't graduate high school knowing how to run Nmap or anything. How did that
Yeah.
happen?
So I started when I was in school. I went to WGU and got involved with the cyber club there. And they have a very active like CTF team. And I joined. They have the National Cyber League challenges. That's both in the spring and the fall, so twice a year. There is CCDC, which is the Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition, which that's a little bit more than just a CTF, but like that definitely like helped in the learning journey. Um, and I have such great friends that we play CTFs over and over again. We just competed in the Meta CTF Road to Cyber Bay just a couple of days ago. And
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw that you still participate with the owls on different CTFs, kind of like a mentor role. Is that right?
Yeah, I help with I've helped people with mentoring in CTFs and stuff like that. I'm actually the Cyber Club alumni officer. I'm the president of the Cyber Club there, so I help with student activities. I'm now the assistant coach for the CCDC team.
Well, that's great that you still have that connection with the people that are kind of coming out of school. Like,
Mhm.
what is on the top of their minds to learn, or things that you're encouraging them to learn to get into the field of cybersecurity?
So I recommend getting as much hands-on practice as possible because that helps them to do well when they land a role. There is different ways that they can do that, like doing try hack me and hack the box, setting up their own home lab environment, or they at my school they have the nice challenges. So getting involved in that because that gives you like, here's a situation that you have as a corporation, and how would you solve this situation as an employee of this company, and then get access to like this lab environment that's mocked up to be this corporate environment, and you get to go through all of the configurations of how would you solve this. So
Well, let's
I
talk
think,
about day jobs for a second.
hmm
You're a SOC analyst by day and community organizer by night, I guess.
yes.
Um, how does the things you learn at work benefit your community role?
I'm able to bring a lot of the experience from work to the community when, for example, giving advice on getting breaking into the field, and also what kind of things people might expect once they get a job. Because a lot of times when you have no experience, you want to know like what's it going to be, and what do I need to be focusing on if I'm going to break into this career.
What are like pretend I'm in school now? What should I focus on? What do you think?
So it depends on what you want to do. If you're going into the SOC, I would recommend getting familiar with different SIEM products, particularly like Microsoft and Splunk. You can see those in a lot of environments. And so you can get free training on both of those on their websites. And that can kind of help you with distinguishing yourself, because if you've seen the products that are used in the environment, that kind of helps you when you go into an interview when people ask you questions about it.
And you can
And
install those products or similar on your home lab.
yes, exactly.
What do you think is things that you've seen at work or in the wild or during your capture the flag escapades that are kind of new and emerging threats that we're seeing out there?
Emerging threats. I would say click fix right now is pretty big. And that is for when somebody goes to a website and they think they're on some company's website, but they see a CAPTCHA. And people have this CAPTCHA fatigue because it's like everywhere. And so they click on the CAPTCHA and it says, okay, now to verify, press Control, or no, sorry, Windows R and then Control V and then Enter. And when you do that, you run a command on your system as whatever user you're logged in as. And so it gives the attackers, command and control access. They can steal your credentials, all kinds of things like that, because you ran a command on your computer and you don't know what it is because you clicked Control V and ran it. There's also social engineering attacks. I would say the deep fakes are definitely an emerging trend, where people take voice samples from you on anywhere you've posted video. You might have somebody take your voice and then copy it, and they can either do it in a work setting, like let's say your boss calls you and says, "Oh, I need you to do this," and you do the task for your boss, but it wasn't your boss. Um, you can also encounter this at home where somebody pretends to be you and like calls your grandparents, and says that you're in trouble and you need money, and they send money because they didn't know that was you. So those are some things to look out for.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the PowerShell attack or whatever you would call it. We've actually seen on the DNS filter network, we did a case study with one of our customers, and they had seen a benign PowerShell event. So
Mm-hmm.
what does benign mean? But the
Yeah.
actual command from their SOC said benign. So this person went to go investigate and pulled up their DNS filter logs and saw that the user had gone to, first it was a banking website, which was not abnormal. That
Mm-hmm.
banking website happened to have malvertising on it, like a fake Google. It was a real Google ad, but malware injected into it. And when they clicked on that, something that interested them, they clicked on it, and then they were presented with this fake CAPTCHA that they didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
It had them do the PowerShell, open their PowerShell, run a command, and then try to download LumaStealer, which is a pretty
Mm-hmm.
nasty piece of software. Luckily,
Yeah.
we blocked that. But the crazy part is, so after we talked to this person, we had dug back in our logs for about a month and saw that this domain had been hit 23 times in a very short period. And 4 people actually went through and got to the payload step. So like you and I talking and people listening to this are like, would never do that, would never run a random command from a Google ad in their shell. But
Mm-hmm.
people do it all the time. So yes, a
Yeah.
good one to watch out for.
Yeah. And people, they don't realize that this is malicious while they're doing it. They're just like, oh, I'm doing what the page tells me to do, and I see a logo that I recognize as a brand name logo. This must be just fine, and
Yeah.
it ends up getting them. Yeah.
And they're so tired from captchas that they just try to power through. It's like when you used to install software and you'd be like, next, 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 finish. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no one, it's just like, get this away from me. So
Yeah.
people's annoyance is reaching a peak where they're willing to compromise themselves and their companies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you also mentioned social engineering. Um, I feel like social engineering would be like one of your favorite hacks. Is that right?
Oh, I enjoy social engineering. um, yeah, I started a whole village for social engineering. So, social engineering adventure village, and yeah.
And that's at one of the DEF CON events that you assist
Um,
with, right?
so that is those are the ones that I run are at B-Sides.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so it's a traveling village, and basically any B-Sides that wants to host us. I'm working with a couple right now, like B-Sides Delaware and B-Sides Southwest Florida, to start there. But my
So are
hope
you
is.
like, are you
Mhm.
designing the social engineering, like, let's call it the box that people can, or the flag that people can capture?
Yeah, we have a challenge, and it's actually calling an AI. So it's not calling actual people. So if somebody is nervous about making phone calls, this is perfect way to start, because the challenge involves like calling and getting secrets, that using tactics that you would use in actual social engineering calls, but against the AI until you get the flag. Um, so this is
That
great
is
if, yeah.
that's very interesting. You just gave me so many ideas. My brain was going crazy. So I was thinking of like sales teams. Maybe they're not comfortable on the phone. Why don't they go pitch an AI to try to sell the software? Or
Mm-hmm.
the managed service provider who doesn't like sales calls or something like that. Or
Yeah.
just training anybody to. I was just on the phone earlier today. Do some volunteer work for a nonprofit, and some of that involves asking for donations. So I lended my time to call a few people, and no one likes doing that. But you could train yourself with AI to do a thing that you're not super comfortable with. That's actually really, there's a lot of applications for that,
Mm-hmm.
including hacking the box.
Yes.
So what are some of the things that you're having this AI do? Like what does the prompt look like? What is the prompt trying to go back to the person with?
Um, so the goal is, when you call, you start with the customer service rep when you first call the company, and then you need to convince that customer rep,
Person.
yes, person in quotes, to give up a phone number. So you're trying to be able to reach somebody else, and then once you call that next number, there is a keyword that you need to tell them so that you get to the next phone number. And so you go through, I believe we have like 5 numbers that you go through. And then there will be a point where you get to a certain person, and now you got to go back a step and call the other person back because you got information that you need to go back. So it's like figuring out, who do I need to call? What information do I need to provide? And at the end, you end up with the flag, and then because our village is pirate themed, we have a certificate o completion for everybody that finishes the challenge, and it's kind of on this like treasure map pirate looking uh, page. So it's pretty
They can
fun.
hold up, get their picture taken on stage
Yeah, yeah,
with the O pirate. That's awesome.
yeah. It's a nice little adventure.
Yeah, that's really clever.
Hmm.
What are some of the other fun challenges you've designed over the years?
Oh, I I don't know. I've been very involved with like Career Village, so I've been doing. Um, I did for Besides Orlando. I made a Career Village bingo, which is a uh, like a bingo card that you get, and it has activities to network with people. And then once you complete, like you get a bingo, you can come back for a raffle ticket to win the prize. And that was really fun. And some of the things on there were kind of like silly, but it was just like go out there and like go talk to people and get involved and have a good time. So that one was a very fun,
Also, another good
yeah.
use of your like AI phone call tool is people practicing interviewing.
That's a good point. Yeah.
All kind of use cases. If you're listening to that, don't steal it. Me and Edna are going to make something.
Yeah.
Um, so you mentioned a bunch about community, and with B sides and the WGU Cyber Club. There's a conference you work on called Death Con. I don't know what that one's all about. Um,
Yeah. That
Go
one.
tell me about Death Con real quick.
Yeah. DEF CON. That's the Detection Engineering and Threat Hunting Conference.
Oh, it's an acronym. I gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. So instead of Threatenting Conference, it's DEF CON. It's very metal. Um, it it's such a great conference. Everything is workshop based. So all of the presentations, there's a video, and then there's hands-on activities to go with the video. And we have lab environments for all of the attendees. It's both a virtual conference, and then we have some on-site um conferences as well. I host the one in Orlando, and it's just a great time to learn things hands-on, share knowledge with other, death practitioners, detection engineers, and threat hunters. And yeah, I have such a fun time learning with people, and so many new ideas come up when you're doing this kind of stuff, because you'll be sharing things and like, oh, I've seen this in my environment and now I can do it differently. And then like as people have new ideas, to share it, and it just makes everybody's job easier when when you're able to share these kind of knowledge and have a place to learn together.
So, do you think the biggest benefit of the community work that you do is that like human to human connection and just learning from each other in a way that we can't do with AI? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely a great way to connect with others and help each other learn and grow.
So I understand that privacy is a really big with you. Like I think I've seen you talk about it on a podcast, and I was looking up your the company you work for on LinkedIn, which is doesn't exist. I guess it's like redacted or something. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is not the company you work for, which I appreciate. So I assume that privacy is a big concern for you, as it should be for everybody. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So, what are some practical tips you can give people to be a bit more private? Obviously, not listing the company you work for on LinkedIn. This is a good start.
Yeah, I love not listing the company that I work for, because then I don't get as many spam emails in my work
But
inbox.
the company you do work for, Redacted, has a pretty good logo. So I was like, maybe it is real.
I made that in Canva. Thank you.
It's good. Good job.
Thanks.
You should
I
start a business profile for Redacted too, and have like a fake whole office, like hundreds of people can work there.
mm-hmm.
That can be your
Yeah.
next community.
Yep.
Employees of Redacted.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, as to your question, I do care about privacy and other people that are trying to be more privacy conscious. I definitely recommend using like Signal for communication, going through your app permissions and making sure that things are not overly permissive. And sometimes apps they change, like Instagram recently made a change where they put publicly your location when you post pictures. So be aware when there are changes, like stay up to date with that kind of stuff, and so you can take proactive steps to like stop sharing the location when it all of a sudden opts you into something you didn't choose. Um, yeah,
I didn't realize Instagram did that. I believe they did
yeah,
that early. Like everywhere
yeah,
did that early. Like I remember like Foursquare and a bunch of those like I'm here apps. It's like what a terrible privacy abuse.
yeah. There
But
was
Instagram used to do that like this is where the location was of this photo was, and then they kind of got rid of it. Now they brought it back.
yeah, there was a change that was rolled out, and they said that you would opt into it, but a lot of people were finding that they had already been pre-opted into it, so the people were having to go back in and turn that off.
Interesting.
Um,
What other kind of privacy gaps do you think still need attention?
there's that's a good question. There's things everywhere. I'm trying to think what would
I
be a
imagine when you go by like a kiosk or something somewhere and it's like enter to win, like you never do those.
yeah. When you enter to win, a lot of times the fine print to that is you're signing up for all of the marketing, and then your information is getting sold to data brokers. Yeah.
That's why you're getting all that junk mail.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That like win a free cruise is, your chances of winning that free cruise is very low, but your chances of ending up on 100 data broker websites is very high. So
Yeah.
yeah.
If you want to go on a cruise, just pay for it. I would
Exactly.
recommend a Disney cruise, especially if you have children. They love it.
Yeah. Disney does such a great job with making a wonderful experience. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Have you? I know you live in Orlando. Have you ever been to the Mouse's Kingdom down there?
Yeah, I've been to Disney.
Are you a huge fan, or just a?
I'm not a huge fan, but I do enjoy going every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say? Dodged the bullet going to Disneyland or Disney World in Orlando because I took the Disney cruise. So now I have like a 3 or 4 year wait on the actual land part of the Disney experience. So
Uh,
that was my strategy.
gotcha.
So you
Yeah.
mentioned we're talking a little bit about threats on the radar. So you mentioned a few, but I'm curious, have you seen anything come across that's like AI related? I know you mentioned that you created an AI kind of voice to talk back and forth for fun, but have you seen things like that in the wild, or do you expect to see things like that?
Um, so I have not encountered it in the wild yet, but I do know that that is happening a lot. There's an increase of um, phone calls being made with AI bots trying to convince you to do different things. Like, and I've heard that there's like sales calls, or they'll call and say you owe them money for parking tickets or something. But I definitely think it's going to increase. There's there was a competition at DEF CON at the social engineering community where they did the bot versus bot competition. So they did that competition for the first time this year because they're seeing that is an increase of activity in that arena, and definitely something that they want to bring awareness to for people to know what that could be like.
So they were programming AI to communicate and I guess get some information from another AI.
Um,
Bot
y-
versus bot. How did
yes, so the AI bot is making calls to, like in the fishing competition, to companies. So
Oh,
they're,
okay.
yeah, but the bots are competing against each other. So,
I'm telling you, this AI voice thing has legs for use
yeah.
cases other than malicious.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've got one more question about uh, like career focused people. People, we're all in this space where there's a lot of burnout. I guess you could see people
Mm-hmm.
getting a little overwhelmed. Like we're looking at screens all day, and I'm just curious how do you manage the mental resilience and then continuing to be enthusiastic like you are and continuing to learn and just finding that balance between you know the work itself and then the exuberance for the career.
Yeah. So I've definitely felt burnout in my career. And I think the key is to find something else that brings you joy other than cybersecurity. Have hobbies outside of this career. Don't make it your entire life. I go take walks every so often. That helps me to just kind of get out of my head, and um, it's kind of a meditation too. Just being able to not be in front of a screen and you know break away. Um, and I think like taking vacation time is very important because being able to like take a week or two and do something else um, is very important. Just
I imagine going to
mhm.
see the mouse doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
And a lot
yeah,
of the community events that you participate in, while related, are not necessarily work exactly.
yeah, yeah, and they bring me a lot of joy. So I enjoy going and seeing people and talking. Yeah.
So finding your tribe and helping them and
Hmm.
letting them help you.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, Edna, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so
And we're
glad
going to
to
talk
be here.
about that. We're going to talk about that super secret idea later. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes.
All right.